If you are listening, tune into this. Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Lauren and this is Max. Say hi, Max. But today I'm going to be talking about what I wish I knew before getting a puppy, important things you should know, maybe tips that other people aren't telling you, other YouTubers aren't talking about, and just overall stuff I've learned since getting my corgi. So if you like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. I post content about everything lifestyle, shopping hauls, trends, stuff like this, all over the place. So please like and subscribe. All right, let's just jump right into it. First, you will get lack of sleep the first couple weeks of getting a puppy. Every time people would bring it up, I'd be like, girl, I got it. Like, I get it, lack of sleep, No, it is serious lack of sleep. Like, I felt like a zombie the first couple weeks. It was like an out-of-body experience. I don't know how to describe it. You know how tired you are when you have like a 5 a.m. flight? You wake up at 3 and your body's just like not right with this. Your body's like, girl, why are you up? That's the type of feeling you're gonna get waking up to bring out your puppy. So at first, my boyfriend and I were bringing out Max every 2 hours. We got Max, okay, he wants to hop off, but say bye, Max. Max, say bye. He's not having it. He's exhausted, and I totally relate to that. So we got Max when he was 7.5 weeks old, so he was very little, and he did not know how to work his bladder yet. He didn't know like when he needed to go to the bathroom. So with that, we were setting alarms every 2 hours to make sure we would wake him up, bring him downstairs to go to the bathroom. And here's a little tip that I've learned. When you bring them down to go to the bathroom, they'll go to the bathroom and then like wait a couple minutes, because sometimes they'll go to the bathroom again. They don't fully release their bladder the first time, and this really helps avoid accidents in the house. So take that tip. Then it got to the point where he was getting like a little bit older. When I say older, it's like a couple days. But then we were able to set an alarm every 3 hours, and then it got to like 3.5. And then one night got to the point where we were like, okay, let's not set an alarm. Let's let him kind of tell us when he needs to go to the bathroom. So he would start kind of like whimpering a little bit, which was a signal that we needed to bring him out. I live in Minnesota, and I also live in an apartment. It's really tough in the winter. It's super cold, and also tough to go down an elevator when he has to go to the bathroom. So we do have a puppy pad by our balcony doors that has like fake grass on it, which we only use for emergencies. The puppy pad is great. It kind of like helps him associate that green grass means go to the bathroom. We only really like to do this for emergencies, but it is helpful. So if you kind of have a similar situation as us, or you live in an apartment, or it's like really, really cold and you don't want to bring him down, I think the puppy pad's great. But anyways, so every 2 hours we were taking him out. It finally has gotten to the point where he'll wake us up like once or twice a night. But when I tell you the lack of sleep, like I have bags under my eyes, like I'm exhausted right now even talking about it. It is truly like having a baby where you are constantly being woken up. You know, obviously you're taking care of another life, so I don't mind it at all, but I am also very, very, very known to like my sleep. So yes, you will be losing sleep. It's really not an issue, even if you're like me and you're like always tired, you're gonna be totally fine, and sooner than later your puppy can make it through the entire night. Okay, next, and this is probably the most important tip. If you are listening, tune into this. This is something that I really think is important, and that is stick to a plan. Okay, so before you even get your puppy, if you're getting it solo, make yourself a list of guidelines, how you want to train, things that you want to stick to. And if you're getting your puppy with somebody else, significant other, partner, whoever it may be, come up with a list that both of you agree on certain things. For instance, my boyfriend and I decided that we wanted to make sure Max slept on his bed on the floor. We didn't really want him in the bed right away. I have nothing against people letting their dog sleep in bed. That is great. I just grew up with my dog. He was a bigger dog, and he would sleep on his bed on the floor and loved it. And so it's something I was used to. I just wanted to make sure that we did that with Max. We both agreed on it. Plus we have like a smaller bed, and the two of us, it just something that we both agreed on. It's obviously really tough at night when we just want to snuggle with him in bed, but we have to put him on his bed on the floor. Which, side note, he loves his bed on the floor, okay? He loves it because we introduced that from the beginning, and he's used to it now, and now it's a safe space. But it's really important that you stick to that plan so you don't confuse your puppy. Because imagine if we like just let him sleep in the bed with us all of a sudden, and then the next day we put him on the floor. It's just not fair. The inconsistency confuses your puppy. And here's the thing, I'm not saying I know everything about puppies. I'm not saying I'm like a master at training them. It's always just important that like you don't give up on these initial things that you decided on, because the moment you get your puppy, you're like, oh, you're so cute, I don't care if you chew on this, or oh, you're so cute, I don't care if you come in the bed. Because it's hard when you get your puppy. You want to like kind of cave on those things, but stick to your plan, okay? And make sure, as like if you're doing this as a partnership, that you guys align on like what things that you want to train your puppy on and what things are good and bad. So if one of you is letting one thing slide and the other is saying no, you don't want your dog to be confused, because he's like, okay, you're letting me do this, but then you're not letting me do this. That's confusing. It's inconsistent for your dog, and it's just like not fair. You don't want to be the bad guy. Like, I don't want you to hate me. I want us both to acknowledge, like, hey, don't chew on this, don't do that. So stick to a plan, okay? Okay. Next tip, be cautious of their diet. So when we picked up Max, his breeder told us the specific food that we should be feeding him. It's food that she was using, so we stuck to that. So about a week ago, we gave him a bone that he loved. He sat there and like chewed on that thing, was loving it. Amazing for us because it would distract him when we were trying to work, but it just didn't sit right in his stomach. Poor Max had diarrhea, he was pooping, it was just like messy, it wasn't good. It really upset his stomach. So it's really important these first couple weeks to understand that puppies are very fragile, right? Like, you don't want to introduce anything crazy into their diet, so definitely take it slow. I mean, hindsight's always 2020. I wish I didn't give him that bone that made him sick, and I wish I did a little more research on what was in that particular bone. It was meant for puppies, clarification. I just don't think he was fully ready for it. So make sure, be cautious of their diet, especially with friends and family. When you get a dog, a lot of people want to give them treats, a lot of people want to bring you toys and food and other stuff. Make sure that you just don't introduce that too early. Okay, another thing that I have really enjoyed and something that's been really useful for me is joining a community. Okay, so we joined this corgi puppy Facebook group. Also, one thing, you always gotta keep your eye on them. You never know where he is. So if I'm like looking away from the camera, it's because I'm making sure he's good. Anyways, we joined this Facebook group and it's been the best decision for us because it's such a fun, loving group of people who either have corgis, love corgis, so they're always there for you for questions that you have. That group has really helped us. Plus, it's nice to just have a group of people that are a support system. That goes into my next segment, actually. Is also good to have a support system. For me, I really wanted to make sure I had a group of people who would help me out if I ever really needed help with Max. So my parents, my boyfriend's parents, my sister, just a group of people who you know if you need something can be there for you, whether you have to go out of town, whether you need to watch for the day. I think for me, it was a good peace of mind before getting Max that I had a support system. If you are getting a dog by yourself and you maybe don't have a support system, look into options like the Facebook group, as I mentioned, or doggy daycares, or other people that can help. You don't need to have it be a friend or a family member. There's apps that have like corgi watchers or dog walkers. I just think it's important to find this before you get your dog to make sure you have a backup system in case anything happens. You don't want to leave your puppy unattended or without support if something were to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This next one may be kind of like a hot take, but I think it's important not to overbuy right away for your dog. What I mean is, when Matt and I got Max, we had like a bunch of toys ready. When Max came home and was like playing with him, there were some toys that he looked at, like touched, and was like, I don't want this. In retrospect, I wish that I had like gotten him a couple different toys, see what stuff he likes, or acknowledge like, hey, he's a puppy. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten him this toy because it's a little too hard, or it's not as soft as he needs. He's teething right now. He needs something soft. He's tiny. His teeth are tiny. So, for instance, I bought him like this rope toy, and it's just way too hard on him, and he doesn't even use it, like it, doesn't come near it. So then when I went to Target the other day, I got him another rope. It's way softer and just like smaller, and he loves it. So what I'm trying to say is, before you go and buy a ton of toys right away, maybe figure out what's best for your dog. Knowing, hey, they're teething, they want something super soft, something like easy to chew. And also, they're gonna like different types of toys. Maybe they don't like the sound of one squeaking versus another squeaking. So I just wish I thought through like the toys I wanted to get him, what would work best for him before I went out and bought like tons of stuff. Obviously, make sure to buy some toys. Get some things so that your dog feels accommodated, safe, comfy, vibing when they get home. You don't wanna have like nothing at all for them. They wanna have fun and be comfortable, but don't like get a ton of things before thinking through what they are. You know what I'm saying? Next, this is really important. I want to like give my spin on it, is think about your lifestyle before you get a puppy. So how is getting a puppy going to change this? For me, it took a couple years for me to get a puppy. I've wanted one for a really long time, but I assumed my lifestyle wasn't ready for it yet until this year. Even a year ago, I was working in office from 8 to 5. I was going on lots of trips. I was doing weekend trips, road trips, just random things that just were not going to accommodate having a puppy. This year, and given the pandemic and everything, is kind of changed for everybody, but now I'm working from home. I'm not even like going out. Now I am not traveling. So I am like ready and able to have a puppy, especially during these like first few months where it's like really pivotal that you are home and there with the puppy. So up until now, I really was not ready. And I think it's okay to acknowledge and it's okay to wait. I think everybody wants to rush into getting a dog, but it's really important to do it when you are ready. Even think through the things like the daily lifestyle things that you're gonna have to switch up. So for instance, I used to love spending an entire Saturday walking around Target, going to the mall, going to TJ Maxx, just spending a whole day shopping. And now I can't really do that because I need to make sure someone is there to take Max out, be there for Max, hang out with him so he's not alone. Last week I had a list of errands I needed to run, and so I made sure my mom was available to watch Max. I brought Max to her house and they played and spent the day together, but I had to make that accommodation. I had to drive 40 minutes to my parents' house, bring Max there, get him all settled, and then I could run my errands. So you have to think through. It's like having a baby. You can't just like leave them on their own. It's not fair to the dog, and you just don't want to do that, right? You're not like building that good relationship, having your dog be home and missing you all day. So it's important to think through even your daily lifestyle, like how can you incorporate your puppy. So just make sure that you are in a place where you have the lifestyle for a puppy. Okay, next one. They are expensive. When I tell you that, it's not like a casual, like, you know, they're expensive initially and then it's fine. No, I always knew they were expensive, but I didn't know how much. So we got Max for $1,500, which is definitely like the cheaper side for a corgi. So the cost of getting him, and then the cost of vet fees and shots and toys and shampoo and food and a dog dish and a bed and puppy pads, all these things really start to add up. And you don't really realize, but you're spending thousands of dollars on your dog. For me, I knew I'd be spending a lot because I wanted to make sure I could get like pet insurance or bring him to the vet when needed. For instance, he actually had a little bit of a puppy cough and we were scared it was going to be kennel cough, so we brought him into the vet. For one visit, we spent $200. You never really know how much you're going to spend, but it's really important that you don't skip out on those things. Like, you don't not bring your dog to the vet because you don't want to pay. You have to pay, and they are expensive. So definitely consider that and make sure you have financial stability or a support system to help you if you need help with finances. You definitely will be spending more than you think you will. Plus, if you live in an apartment like I do, there's a pet deposit fee and then there's rent for your pet. So there's a lot of reoccurring payments. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but just make sure that you have the financial stability to support your dog. Okay, and last, have some patience and grace on yourself and your dog. These first couple months of having a puppy are not easy for you or the puppy. You guys are both getting used to each other, you're training, you're getting little to no sleep. Like right now I feel like I'm a zombie, my eyes are like, but it's all worth it. Definitely take a deep breath and realize you don't have to have everything figured out right away. You can learn as you go. But definitely utilize your resources. Like, there are so many videos on YouTube that I have watched that helped me so much. Like I said earlier, the community, the Facebook group we're in, that is so helpful. But have grace on yourself, okay? Like, don't freak out. Take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay, and have fun with it, okay? Because puppies are only puppies for a little bit of time, and they grow up and they grow so fast, it's crazy. So enjoy these times, enjoy these moments. Hope this really helps you. So those are all my tips. Do your research, do what you need to do, think it through, and when you are ready, I am so excited for you, and I wish the best for you and your puppy. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe. As I mentioned, I post lifestyle content, so if you want more from me, please subscribe and stick around. We'll see you in the next video.